Hey Sag, this is Aya of the Dawn. Thank you so much for watching your November reading. It's like almost mid. You could say it's mid. Yeah, it's mid-November now. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. This is going to be a, a reading, a short reading, and then you can watch the full reading all together on Patreon. And I'm going to release it at some point. I don't know when, but if you want to just go ahead and jump on it, go to Patreon right now. It should be up. I'm feeling love for Sagittarius for some reason. I just am. And I thought when I was thinking about you guys' reading, like, I'm like, love energy. You're moving into some type of new phase where you're becoming more of a lover than a fighter. Maybe you're giving up trying to control the outcome of your dreams, or giving up preaching to everyone else, and maybe getting more into like having a life for yourself. So let's get into a little bit of smudging. I'm sitting here trying to light this. How are you guys doing? I'm good. I'm trying to be okay with that. I'll say that. I'm trying to be okay with being okay. I release the need to struggle. How about that? How about them apples? Okay, let's ding this one more time. Put that over there. So we're going to go into, start off with the Whispers of Love deck, and I'm going to use these as your categories. I just got this deck today, and I'm so glad I can use it with you guys, Sagittarius. I feel like you guys don't have a reputation for being like the lovers of the zodiac or anything. So we're going to focus in. So I'm surprised that I'm feeling like I want to, like, this is like about love for you guys. So Sag, we're focusing on the Sri Yantra for your highest good, energy, purpose, prosperity, knowing, fruitfulness, abilities, love, apparently. But I think it's like love for your abilities, though. Now that I said the word abilities, that seems to be like, let's see. So I'm using the Whispers of Love, Sagittarius, November 2018. So how this reading is going to work is that you'll probably get a good 15 minutes, and then like the rest of the reading will be up in Patreon. And it could be, I mean, these readings have been sometimes an hour and 30 minutes altogether. Okay. So join me on Patreon, see what I have going on over there. We're just getting started. Come in at the beginning, where you probably get more, because I send out products as well, handmade products every month. Okay. Sagittarius. Jupiter just entered into Sag. Oh, that's what's going on. Something told me Something also told me to look at my ephemeris, or look at the astrology wheel, because there's a reason why you guys are feeling like even extra expensive. I get it. Good for you. Okay, Sagittarius. Let's see. These cards aren't that jumpy. They're very solid. Sagittarius. Okay. So we have new love. It says, embrace this new opportunity of love that is here. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. And what I really enjoy about these cards is how expressive they are. I just see what I notice about this card for you guys is that, you know, the first thing I notice is that she's looking up. She's looking out. You know, she's reaching from within to her, from within herself, and connecting to something that she knows is greater than herself. And the next card is forgiveness. What a beautiful card. Forgiveness. It says nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. And you know, in past readings, I've seen that Sagittarius has had to deal with a lot of disappointments when it comes to you being very super giving when it comes to sharing your expansiveness with other people, and people not really like, people being freaking haters. I'll just say it. And you know, that does kind of make you feel like you want to shut down. And so this is a new love and a new beginning for you, just kind of reaching out again and trusting as if you've never been hurt before, as if you haven't been being disappointed. In order for you to, any of us, to have a real life, you have to love again like it's new love when it comes to your life, or else you'll always be harboring bitterness, which keeps you, it kind of turns you into a relic, like a stone figure of the past. You know, everybody else will be moving on, and then your disappointment will turn into bitterness, and your bitterness will turn into jealousy. Your jealousy will turn into envy, and we don't want that. We want to release, like she's like kind of like, it looks like, now that I look at it and looking at this message here about forgiveness, it looks like she's just kind of like surrendering and giving her pain up to the universe, and also praying at the same time. And that makes me want to cry. It's just kind of like, what more can you do? You can't change people, and you can't change what happened in the past, but you can make a conscious decision to release and decide that you don't really need to hold on to the past anymore. And the next card is be supportive. Make a genuine effort to show you care. And this is interesting. After forgiveness, nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. And then you get kind of like a gut punch. It's kind of like the universe testing you already. Like, go back out and be supportive of people. You know, if you can't do that, have you really forgiven? Like, have you really began a new chapter in your life? That kind of will test you, gangster. Like, test your faith, test your forgiveness. The universe is just like real shady like that sometimes. I feel like that's a stinger. It's kind of like, you know, like, already, like, the universe expects for you to like really pump through, push through, move on, and get back to being your supportive self. last card that came out, I'm only going to use like 3 in the category, but I'm going to put this card on top of everything. It's really beautiful. The only thing that is real is love. And it says shift your focus. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. And that kind of makes me shake or shiver. I feel convicted. The only thing real is love. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. You heard them, Sagittarius. You have your writing orders. So I'm just going to keep that there, and I'm going to keep that in mind. Alright. So I want you to see like how beautiful these cards are while we pull the cards underneath each category. That's not going to work there. So the first card that we pulled is New Love. And I'm going to use the Arcana of Astrology deck to pull from for these cards. New Love. Sagittarius. Wow. What a message already. It's very, very convicting. New Love, Sagittarius. New Love. And it seems like, I feel like Sagittarius is always, you're always like this New Love card. Just kind of like, this light is kind of so bright on here. You can barely like see the colors. I don't know how to make it so that you can actually see the colors. Experience the cards. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like I'm a little bit of a stickler maybe. That's a little bit better, I guess. But yeah, just kind of like this card, it's like you're always in communion between like you and the heavens. That's what makes you so lucky. You know to pray. You know, your soul is always in prayer. And it's kind of, it seems like it's kind of gotten muffled by unforgiveness and not setting yourself free, like washing over your life with forgiveness, like giving your life a clean slate. Wow. Okay, Sagittarius. New Love. That is just like baptism to me. That's just kind of like, I don't know, that inspires me to make like a spiritual tea to help people do that, because that's hard. That can be hard. And the card that pops out is Lilith, and Lilith has been very prevalent in the astrology readings I've been doing for people lately. She is a goddess of truth. She's going to tell you the truth about what you need to heal and what you're truly enraged about. So maybe in order to get to the new love, you know, you need to tell the truth about like your pain, your rage, agitations, and like with the intention to move forward, not necessarily to hurt anyone. Lilith is a very hurt goddess because she's like been pushed away and rejected. Maybe there's a part of you that just feels like completely rejected, and not integrated into love like you want, you know. And you know, I really feel sad for a lot of people, for a lot of us in our society, who all we want to do is give love. Everything we are in our being is so that, you know, we want to share like the best parts of us. But there's so many freaking haters in the world, and we could possibly be part of it if we don't forgive, you know, and just give life, give people, give the situation a reset, a clean slate. You have to forgive all your bullies, all your naysayers and unsupporters. You have to keep being supportive, keep being yourself. And sometimes we can have like built up residue of irritations, agitations, and things we've been holding against others because we feel rejected. And, you know, that just lets me know even further that how we feel and how we react and how we respond, regardless of how other people are or have been, it's our responsibility, and we can't really like blame or put it off on other people, or else you just end up stuck in a situation in your life that makes you feel even more agitation, like you don't and then you won't have anything to give. And that's just life, man. Life is raw. It's really raw. And Lilith is a very raw, I guess it's an asteroid, but it's more like, it's an energy. It's like the dark feminine. They call it the dark moon, Lilith. It will be the shadow side of the feminine energy, needing to purge, needing to express herself. And so next we have, I know it's the forgiveness card. That beautiful forgiveness card. Again, I feel very convicted myself. I feel like I have been claiming to release energy and forgive, but I still kind of like, now I have a wall up, which isn't really me being myself, you know. But let's keep on going. Forgiveness. Saying that. So it's the last quarter. Forgiveness. Decline. This is an indication that you aren't to rest right now on your laurels. You are to actively work on forgiveness. This is something that you have got to do now, or you'll fall out of step with the rhythm of the forward movement of your life. That's very interesting. Like, you could possibly go into that space, that dangerous space of not experiencing that your answered prayers, or the new love and new life that you would hope to experience, the goodness, the joy, the expansiveness. Actively seek to release, purge, and forgive. This is kind of like a warning. And then the next card that came out is the waning crescent, ending. And so it's like, if you actively work on forgiveness, then you'll find that that irritation will begin to subside. so that you can have your new beginning. Okay. I'm going to go in more depth about all of this. Just join me on Patreon and you will get the whole reading. I'll talk to you guys soon. And if you don't watch the Patreon reading, I will see you next month for your December reading. Peace. Okay, so these two cards are very interesting. Like, while I was uploading the first half of the video or whatever, I did more research, and this is what I love about my world. I love learning, and I never can. You can always go deeper with astrology, with the planets, with tarot, with spirituality. It's just kind of like a rabbit hole for real. It's amazing to me. But you might be feeling with this last quarter moon and this waning crescent moon, like, this would definitely be a time of purging relationships that no longer serve you. It seems like part of your forgiveness is also forgiving yourself for all that, letting people cross your boundaries, not standing up for yourself, or just kind of letting these relationships linger on too long in your life. And then you'll finally get the rest you deserve, like the peace in your life. And the new beginning will feel very cleansed. It's like you definitely need like a reset. And I'm going to make this really is inspiring me to make like maybe like a forgiveness, reset, cleansing, spiritual bath, soap. Maybe I'll do that for next month. So yes, please join the tiers on Patreon so that you can receive those types of products and stuff like that. But yes, this waning crescent moon is about endings. It's called the balsamic moon, I learned. And it's kind of a moon that makes you feel like, I'm so tired, like I need to rest. I have been toiling, I've been working really hard, I deserve to sleep. And those are the times during this phase. Pay attention to like the phases of the moon. Is super dope, how where everything's connected and everything is one, which Sagittarius I know you love, which is why I wanted to use this deck in your reading this evening. Yeah, you'll go through and work hard, because it's interesting, the dichotomy of these two cards. Like the last quarter moon is about like, oh right, it's not time for you to stop working yet. You need to push through. You know, it's the halfway mark. You're almost there. It's not time for you to lay down. But after you go ahead and do the work you need to do, you'll be able to rest. And your new beginning, like your new love, maybe new zest for life, you'll be able to come into that truly with a clear conscious, a new energy. It'll be like it didn't happen. That's what we're looking for. You want these people to be like, oh, come to you, because you want your energy to be so clear that whoever, whatever, comes to you and be like, oh man, you know, I'm sorry about what happened last year, last month. And you'll be like, oh yeah, no problem. Like, you just want to have that reaction instead of like, I bet you are. You know, it's like a difference of energy. One of them, you're looking for revenge. Basically, you're looking to like right in the kisser. You're looking to like gut punch, get people back. And the other energy is like, you're forgiving, you're free. You know, I'm free. We're all free. You just want your freedom back, because these energies now have gotten a hold on your natural way of being, which is super expansive and in like constant prayer with the universe, and it's getting in the way of your manifestations. Okay, so the next card, the next category is be supportive. Now this reading has taken me through a transformation, because I've been sitting here like, I'm like within myself, and I'm like, man, in what ways have gotten a hold of me in my life, you know? Because I do have it's okay, I do have like a couple of planets. I have Venus and Neptune and Sagittarius in the 4th house, and I'm looking forward to the changes that Jupiter is going to bring to my 4th house. You know, the things that I hold closest to me in my private life, you know, I'm interested to see, but I'm already starting to see the effects of it, and it's kind of like this is talking to me as well. All right, so it says be supportive. Be supportive. The moon, like this psychic energy. Okay, so this, sorry, I was getting support from this help desk, and while I wasn't recording, they didn't say anything to me, and every time I turn on the camera, he talks to me. And I want to respond because he's like working diligently. Alright, so the full moon, as we know, is a time of clarity. You'll finally be clear. That's amazing. And I don't know what clarity. Like it seems like being supportive. Like you going through the process of, you know, being like, maybe you say a prayer and you're like, I want a new life. I'm tired of this. I surrender. I outstretch my hands to you. God, Goddess, universe, spirit, being, my being is here. I want to know, like, which way do I go? And then the universe gives you this answer: forgive, let go, start anew, be supportive, work really hard at clearing out that energy. And it's probably not the answer you want to hear. Like, you know, it's like sometimes you rather buy like a plane ticket to Timbuktu and talk to a shaman in a jungle and spend $3,000 than forgive people that have pissed you off or agitated you or disappointed you. You know, you'd rather like stub your big toe on a corner of like the sharpest fucking coffee table than forgive. Okay, maybe I'm a Scorpio, a Scorpio sun, and maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm talking about myself, but you know, that. And so this answer to me isn't like the answer, but it's beautiful, it's real, it's heartfelt, it's meaningful, it's like nitty gritty, and it looks like there's hope here. I feel a lot of hope. I feel a lot of like reconciliation and promise. All right, so in the theme of love, I pulled out the Romance Angel deck, Oracle deck, because I didn't know. I don't be knowing why Spirit tells me to do things. I just do them. But now looking at your reading, it's not like romantic love. I mean, it could have been like somebody that really like agitated you, irritated you in some way that you're in a romantic relationship with. But it could be co-workers, it could be family members, it could be hell, it could be your grandmother, who knows. So we're going to get clarity on be supportive and then the full moon. It's like, it seems like after you do all that work, it's time to celebrate, and you'll naturally feel like being supportive again. But let's see what comes out. Be supportive. I need some space. Sagittarius. It is safe for you to love. It says open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. And we're talking about love here. And we have a very gypsy energy. And we have Cupid working on behalf of maybe this knight. There's two Cupids working on both of them. So it seems like, you know, the energy of love won't just be working on you. It'll be working on everyone in your life. But as above, so below, as within, so without, you making these changes, I feel like is a catalyst for maybe everything in your life to have this new love energy. And let's look at the forgiveness. Forgiveness and the last quarter and the waning crescent for Sagittarius. Yeah, it seems like not just because when I think about the moon, since we pulled all like moon cards here, I think of community. I don't think of just one person. Most of the time when you do in like communal societies, you get together with other people and you do full moon ceremonies and you lift up the energy together. It's not just you by yourself. I don't feel like you're going to be alone when I see this card and Cupid working on both of the masculine and feminine energy. But it's a very feminine energy because I feel like the feminine energy is on the horse. And maybe it's the masculine energy has put the feminine on his horse because it's a knight, kind of like in shining armor type of ordeal. You know. But in order for relationships to work, everybody, both parties, it has to be reciprocity. It has to be both energies, like deciding, making a decision that we're going to do our best. We're going to work on being at our best. And that's the energy we all deserve. And whenever you hit those energies with people, those points with people where they're not willing to open up and change, it's not a point for you to force them or be controlling, because I feel like a lot of times when I do readings for people, it could be you can have like the best intentions to love someone, but it can turn into like obsession and controlling, trying to get somebody to respond to you how you want them to respond and to love you how you want to be loved. And you can be like the best person in the world, but you can't make anybody do anything. So at what point do you, like these cards are saying, just kind of like you have to do some purging. There are some relationships that are just not going to be revived, no matter how much you change, love yourself, get a facelift. I don't know. Like, there's just some people that aren't going to, you can't convince all energies. It has to be an inside job. And so with this forgiveness energy, it says give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. And that is part of forgiveness here. You know, it's like you're giving your life and you're giving your partnership. Your partnership is not just with people. Your partnership is with all energies. Your partnership is with time, space, and the continuum. You know, give your life a chance, basically. Give your whole life a chance by working on your energies and removing and truly making some hard decisions. I feel like these are going to be some really hard decisions for you because you're all inclusive and everyone's invited. I mean, until you, if you see someone's not on your side, Sagittarius, I don't ever think that you have a hard time like letting certain people go. But I feel like Sagittarius people have the hardest time changing within themselves and seeing that they are in need of forgiveness as well. It's like forgiving yourself and seeing that because you're everything works out so well for you most of the time, regardless of whether or not other people agree or are on your side. You always end up like kind of on top, and that can kind of make you pretty arrogant. But if you really look deep inside, you may be holding some grudges and you might have some trust issues. So let's look at the new love card mixed with the Lilith. And we really didn't. Lilith is such a deep card. And we got some really deep cards that just popped right on out. I barely had to move the cards. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Like we were saying before when we were talking about Lilith, it's really important that you tell the truth in these situations so that you can get everything off of your chest. I don't think this is the type of energy where you can just kind of do it alone. A lot of times we can take responsibility for our energy and not really deal with the other person or other people in this involved in the parties because we feel like, you know what, I take responsibility for my energy. I chose how I responded. It's my fault, my bad. I'm not even going to talk to them. But I feel like this is a situation where you were cut. You were hurt. You're hurt. And you have to speak that. You have to say that. I'm hurt. I'm hurting. You hurt me. This is how you hurt me. You know, and then the next card is free yourself. These heart-to-heart conversations you'll have will definitely free you. And take you to, I think, higher heights in your relationship with yourself. You'll see yourself become the man, the woman, your maturity level will be bumped up. This is what this is. This is maturity. This is fine as wine maturity. This is putting your big boy panties on. Big drawers on. You know, this is no more petty. This is not you not being petty. So the next card, the last card is express your love. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And in saying that, I feel like this whole reading is about you unclogging your like manifestation receptor so you can get back to the magic. I feel like your energy has gotten dirtied up, clogged up with issues and problems and clogs in your relationships and unsaid things that didn't quite hit you the right way that you think about still. You know, like, you know how you can have those people in your life that you'd be like, man, I don't feel like arguing with them. If I tell them that that hurt my feelings, it's going to escalate. And so you just don't go there. And And these cards aren't telling you to haul off and slap somebody with your words. It's basically telling you to express in love. Express your truth as you take responsibility for maybe putting yourself in the situation. As you express that you also need forgiveness. As you express, your hurt, agitation, pain, or agony. But truly do purge, though. Like, even if you need to shed tears. And some of these relationships aren't going to stand this test, but some of them are, and it'll be made stronger, a stronger bond. And at least at the end, you'll feel like it's safe for you to love. And maybe you didn't start off that way at the beginning of the conversation. And this may not be a one-time sit down. This might be like you try to talk it out, and then you bump heads, and then you call the person back again, or they call you back again, and you bump heads again. But you have to get this cleared. It has to be cleared. Have you had those types of relationships before in your friendships before in your life? I have. I've had many. Where, I was forced to be like in group or in communion with people where we're like exact opposites maybe, and we each see the other person as wrong for being the way they are. And come to find out, like, this friend I had in high school at church, she was lily white, and we were in Bible talk together. We were in the Bible talk group, and in our church, we really harped on relationships with one another. Like, we really tried to love one another, right? And so we would try to everybody knew that we didn't mesh, or we didn't try to, or whatever, we didn't care, but it was like maybe like homework for us to talk, and we would argue all the time. I mean, it was like we were so different that she was like messy. I was messy, like lackadaisical about things. Like, I mean, I cleaned up, but not like her. She was OCD. I mean, she would get off her bed. If there was a wrinkle, she would swipe it and straighten it and by everything square, box. No hair in the sink. Nothing left. Everything sparkling clean. I'm not like that. I have a cleaning day, and then I might make my bed. But by the time we got finished arguing with each other, I realized that I legit expected other people to think and be like me. And I realized from that relationship that it's okay that everybody's not like me. And I honestly thought that everybody did think like me, or was supposed to think like me. And I felt really silly for some reason after I realized that, oh, people are different. But those types of bumps have helped me learn how to be a human being in relationships with people. And so maybe, I don't know how many years later, we were at some type of campus. She had gone away to college, but we still were involved in the same church. We went to some type of retreat, and I saw her, and we really affected one another by our clash. I got a little piece of her. She got a little piece of me. Like, she wasn't so strict on herself. And I was like, oh, you left your backpack on your bed? And she was like, oh, you made up your bed a little bit. It was like that. We really impacted one another and built, like, a bond. And I think that's a really cute little cool story. We didn't necessarily, like, hurt each other's feelings and need forgiveness from one another. But I guess we were pretty brutal with our opinions of things. We have a lot of differing opinions, not just cleanliness. It was a lot, actually, that I can't really remember. But that's just the one thing that stood out the most to me about that relationship. But for you, it might be something else. And I'm just saying, don't be afraid to clash, and don't be afraid to bump heads. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid to speak your truth. Sagittarius, you're funny because you speak your truth, no problem. But when it comes to your feelings, it's hard for you. Like when it comes to something that really means something to you, you'll hold that thing in like forever, and it'll affect everything in your life. Do you not realize that, Sag? A lot of times, your closest relationships, like with your lover, your wife, your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, will be affected by the things you don't say and haven't dealt with say like your mother and your father, and people who I guess are you're never going to necessarily get rid of, you know. That's really hard for you. That's something that's really, that people wouldn't know unless they're like really close to you and super intuitive and sensitive, you know. So let's pull some more cards, some more catalyst cards for you. New love. And then we have the free yourself, express your love, and heart-to-heart conversation. Let's get some more clarity about that. The Queen of Lotuses. Okay. This is a transmutation of your energy. You are growing up. You're learning how to take negativity and turn it into something usable, workable, even more profitable, even stronger. You're learning how to turn your pain into, what do I want to call it? Freedom, almost. Like you're learning to, it's kind of like, what's that fighting style where somebody gives you their energy and then you like use it as a force however you need to use it, but you're not like bum rushed, or you're learning to be wise about how you use the energy, even if you perceive it as negative. All isn't negative just because you think it's negative. It's all in how you look at it, and you're starting to see that, or you will begin to see that. I think that's pretty dope. You know, it'll become part of your essence, part of your creative energy, maybe even inspiration for something, a new project for you. An inspiration for new relationship and new love in your life. Okay. Give your relationship a chance and forgiveness. You know, because sometimes in life we are down and out. But one thing I see in this reading is that you're not out for the count. Like, it seems like somebody really hurt you. And maybe this has gone on for a while and you haven't even talked to this person in a while, maybe. But it's something that haunts you. And it's something that needs to be kind of like a surgeon, scalpeled out, dealt with, reused, repurposed. It can't stay stagnant. Okay. Justice, justice. Forgiveness. And it's reversed. So it's saying that, to me, this is saying that things might not turn out how you want them to be when you have these heart-to-heart conversations. And we already talked about this. You know, maybe people aren't going to be fair. And maybe people think people aren't going to see things your way, or you won't see things eye to eye with other people in this situation. But you are to do what's right for you anyway. You're not to punk out. You still have to go on and move forward regardless. This is an energy thing. This is not about right or wrong. And sometimes you might even know that you're going to be quote unquote defeated, but you have to move your ego out the way and think about your whole life in general. Do you want to live your life not saying anything to people who hurt you or disrespect you or get in your way? Or are you going to be the type of person that has to be like, hey, don't do that to me, or hey, move the hell out of my way? Like, if you're not going to be helpful, go that way, move over. Like, don't take up my space, my time, my energy. I'm not going to let you do that, regardless of, like, if somebody, like, gets mad, upset, throws a tantrum, throws a book, splits a hair. That is not your responsibility. That's not your concern how other people respond. Because what you do in one area of your life, you do in all areas of your life. And what you let one person get away with, you best believe that in a lot of other areas in your life, you let other people get away with it too. If you look, if you peer, you'd be like, I didn't know I was like that. But yeah, you know, it seems like if you know you're not going to win, you probably like take a back seat, or you know, try to strategize a way for you to win, but forget about winning. You win when you purge your energy and you get out what you have to say and express how you feel. Be supportive, and it is safe for you to love. Sagittarius. Okay, so 2 cards popped out. The Page of Wands and the Temperance card reversed. They're both reversed. Okay. Alright, so these 2 cards are kind of like a warning to you, saying that this challenge is unavoidable. Like, you can run away from it, but what will happen is that you'll feel so haunted by this situation, it'll beat you into submission anyway. Like, you're not going to be able to escape dealing with this issue, and getting to the point to where you feel safe to love again is really important. Apparently this is really important for you right now, Sagittarius. Because remember, one of the first cards that we pulled is the only thing that is real is love. And for you to shift your focus from the problem back to love. And you can't use charm or your arrogance to like get you out of like being real and transmuting this energy that you have inside of you. You might be tempted to skip steps when it comes to really doing what you got to do to transmute the energy. And I want to read the Justice card. Like, I keep seeing that, feeling like I want to read that for you. Alright. It says, Varuna, guardian of cosmic justice, lord of the sky, was once the most revered and powerful deity of Vedic India. When it came to ultimate principles, Varuna was the great god who sustained the universe. Originally a dual god known as Mitra Varuna, the former ruling the day and the latter the night, he merged into one elevated deity. Varuna became the great observer of deeds. He became the great observer of deeds, punishing actions that transgress not just the law but the cosmic order. It is interesting that Mayat, the Egyptian goddess of justice, stood for the right order. Varuna is credited with finding the sun hidden in the cosmic waters and setting it in the sky. He parts the earth and the sky again, parallel in Egyptian myth as the story of Geb and Nut. He is praised as the King of Kings, the one responsible for making it rain. The hymns rise to a pitch of exultation when they contemplate the splendor of Varuna, for he is a god who never commits a mean or dubious act. He is the victory in swift horses, milk in the dawn cows, meaning the essence of light, wisdom, as the Sanskrit word go meant both cow and light, intelligence in the hearts of men, and fire in the waters. He is the great friend of man, as the word Mitra literally means friend, and he severely punishes all transgressions against friendship. It is a unique note in Indian culture, obsessed as it is with family and deeply ambivalent about friends. In later myths, Varuna is described as the lord of the waters in the midst of the celestial waters, as well as being a sky god and the lord of the horizon. His names, like Jalapashi, ruler of waters, and Yadapitshi, lord of aquatic animals, reflect the changed reality. And an almost forgotten throwback to his Vedic stature, he is also called Prachitas, the wise. Quaintly, he is supposed to live in a house with 1,000 doors, as he is always accessible to man. But most of all, Varuna is feared as a just judge. Liars especially receive the dread punishment of the Varuna Pasha, the noose of Varuna. He is the god who is able to prolong life, so it seems only logical to assume that he can cut it short too. Varuna was entirely without sentiment when it came to transgressions against Ritha. Even his best friend, the sage Vashita, felt the anger of Varuna flare against him for his wrongdoing. Like generations of mankind to come after him, Vashita offered the remarkably familiar Mikalpa. The mischief was not done on my own free will, O Varuna. Wine, anger, dice, or carelessness led me astray. Even sleep does not avert evil. I would serve the generous God and be free from sin. It is clearly understood that repentance and service to Varuna washes away sins. It is also understood that there is no use trying to fool Varuna about what you have been up to. Wherever two together plot and deem they are alone, King Varuna, a third, is there, and all schemes are known. Varuna is thus the aspect of consciousness known as the witness, the alert background which remains aware of the states of sleep, dream, unconscious, and wakefulness. In light of his knowledge, humans are intuitively and correctly classified as Homo sapiens, man who is aware that he is aware. The instinctive imperatives of justice and conscience are, it would seem, a consequence of being human, sapient, and conscious. So this story reminds me of you. It reminds me, one of my ex-boyfriends is a Sagittarius, and he used to always feel like it was his responsibility to help people learn their lessons. You know, and I'll always be like, you shouldn't punish people. You should leave that to karma. And we will always like have this debate. But the shadow of this card, since it's reversed, is saying experience of cause and effect in your life, too much emphasis on what is fair. Life is not fair. Get used to the idea. Refusal to acknowledge any responsibility, fault, or contribution to a situation. Shifting blame. whining about the mess one has landed in, hasty and ill-considered decisions, assumptions of virtue and rectitude when nothing could be more hypocritical. Personality becomes too tilted in one direction. Adverse or unwelcome developments in legal matters, communications are garbled and lead to future trouble. Unwelcome truths about people in your life come to the fore. Okay, so the Sacred India Tarot doesn't play with when it comes to the truth. I feel like the first part of your reading was really fluffy compared to, but we did touch on these things, but this kind of like laid down the law for you as well. I did see, like, when we were pulling the Lilith, the last quarter, and the crescent, these were like warning cards to you as well, that it seems like you have a choice. The universe isn't going to make you take responsibility for your part in these relationships, and B, have a heart-to-heart conversation, and C, get over it finally, like once and for all. Clear it, because you have an opportunity for this new love in your life to get back to that song of prayer that you're used to living in. You know, like these situations with people and your disappointments with people have gotten to be like more of an issue than they should be for like your true happiness. Okay? You need to get back to being the supportive person that the universe made you to be. You don't really have that space and opportunity to be like immature, like maybe like some other signs, like an Aries would, or even a Virgo. You don't really get to stay in that space. You don't. You know, you have too big of a light to share. It's not to be, you can't use it to hold a grudge. It's not going to do anything but make like your life dark. Everybody else is going to still be the same. Like, people are still going to be the same regardless of whether or not you talk to them or not. They have their choice, but you know better. And we're going to end that reading there, Sag, with like maybe a little bit of tough love for you, because I honestly don't think that you necessarily see yourself in that way. I know you don't actually. It's not your bag. That's why I'm here. Okay? It's not what you do. You don't really like see the dark side all that clearly within yourself, but you'll call it out in other people. And that be the problem. It's like, you don't go into this calling people out. Going this to have a heart-to-heart conversation. Speak from your heart and your soul with love. Move into love. Shift your focus from the problem and get back to love. Verdict. I'll see you guys next month. Thank you so much for joining me on Patreon and watching on YouTube and getting readings and stuff from me. I love talking to you guys so much. I love your comments. I love you. Peace.